Welcome everyone, I'm Fausto Carnevale, Italian accountant and international tax consultant, and in this video I will explain to you why it is important to invest in Italy even after your pension, even if you move to Italy when you are retired. And I decided to do this video because we have a lot of clients, especially from the United States and other countries around the world, that wants to move to Italy to retire. Exactly. They want to enjoy the sunny weather. You have maybe 60, 65 years old and you want to move to Italy. And so your first concern is how my income will be taxed in Italy. This is a topic that we can discuss, and we always discuss in a private consulting call. But today I would like to show you if it is possible to invest in Italy, when and where, which things you can buy in it. First thing that you need to remember is that even when you are retired, you can continue to have some incomes, for example, from real estate. If you have already some asset abroad, like for example houses, or if you have I don't know, companies, here we need to pay attention, because as I explained in other videos, there is the esterovestizione. So what happens is that we have to pay attention if you have a company opened still, let's say, active in another country. Can you continue to have your houses outside if you live to Italy? Of course you can, but we need to evaluate the tax impact. What would I do in Italy if I was retired? Let's say maybe me in 40 years, or in 30 years, or maybe in 20, who knows, maybe I will retire at 50, 52. What would I buy? Last week I talked about how to negotiate rent to buy in Italy, and this was a very important video, because you know in Italy that you can rent to buy a place, a house, and you can basically avoid interest, because when you do the rent to buy, the owner that basically needs money, this is not a good thing to say, but when the seller needs money, you can negotiate the price, and of course you can negotiate a better deal. In this case, what would I do? I would do the Airbnb or the cedolare secca. So first of all, I would buy a house with I have to buy other things here. Okay, so first of all, I will do the rent to buy. I will try to rent to buy a house, because this is the best way if you don't want to spend, let's say, 100,000 euro or 200,000 euro. And in this way, in Italy, the prices are the houses and the apartments, as you can check via a website, they are not very expensive, but depends the area, of course. I'm referring to a normal small region like Abruzzo. If you live in Milan or you want to buy in Milan, this is another world, another story. Milan is more expensive than Brussels, and I think it's one of the more, it's little less than Paris or London. So I would rent to buy a house, or not a house, I will try to rent to buy a complex of apartments. Okay, here of course you need to negotiate with the seller. If the seller, there is a company, we have to do maybe a discussion, but here I'm here to say that if you need us to have a call together with the seller in Italian, we can help you. So I will rent to buy one or more properties. You have to know that if you rent a property to have an income, unfortunately in Italy you pay the IRPEF tax, so the tax brackets. We also did some videos about this. What happened then? Unfortunately in Italy, since that the average salary is very low, people don't care about this impact, because maybe the average family have one, max two apartments to rent. But if you have more money, you can buy multiple properties. But I won't rent it with a normal contract, because we have to pay the IRPEF. And what happens if you have already some other incomes, like pension? Okay, what would I do? This is the question. So I would basically use those two structure. Airbnb because we can deduct costs and because the flat tax is 21%. But pay attention to what I said. We can deduct some cost. And pay attention to another thing. If you want to buy several properties, then it is better to open a company. And I already talked last week, 2 weeks ago about this topic, okay? But let's say that you want to buy 3 properties, okay? Airbnb, because even if you pay the 21% as a flat tax, but you can charge more per day, as you know. You can charge also for an apartment per room, 50 euro per room per day. So that is a lot. Sorry, you know. You see, sometimes I can talk, you know. And then the other thing, cedolare secca. You can have a look online. Cedolare secca. Let me see if you can see. Yes, you can see. Cedolare secca is another flat tax, 21%. Normally, the best way to do this flat tax, to use this flat tax, is if you rent an apartment to the students, for instance. Here, you can apply this 21%. Let's say you buy an apartment in Bologna. Let's say, no? You can spend 200,000 euro because, okay, there in Bologna, for instance, the prices are very high, but you can use this cedolare secca. Or you can also have a cedolare secca with a 10% flat tax. But here you have to find an apartment in a small area, in a small city, let's say. Okay? But this is also very interesting because 10% is 10%. 21% here is 21%, meaning that they don't care if you have $1 million from abroad. You can also continue to be an employee. You can work with the Forfait Regime, Forfait Regime. You can have dividends, which, as I said in other video, dividends is the best way to take money in Italy. But imagine that you buy, 3-4 properties with Airbnb. Imagine that you sell your stocks because the dividends in Italy are taxed like crazy. I was talking with a client. For instance, if you moved from Canada, you have to pay 15% to Canada and 26% on Italy. So if you earn 100, you have to pay 15 in Canada. And on the 85, the remaining, the 26%. So dividend is the worst way to take out money. But you can start to rent properties. And this is also passive income. And this is also, I'm not saying that the prices in Italy are going up everywhere, but in Milan, Bologna, Rome, they are skyrocketing. Because there are a lot of people from abroad like you who wants to move to Italy, okay? Especially people who have 60 years old. So like you, maybe people who have already some money saved, okay? So this is what I would do. If you need more information about your specific situation, you can send me an email at info@esentaxa.com and we are doing this for a couple of months. We can schedule a first free call in order for me to understand what is the service that you need. In case you have already a lot of questions, the best way is to book 1 hour consultation call via the link. We also have a 20-minute call, but this is only if it is a preliminary call, and this applies if you don't have a lot of questions. Like if you, for instance, want to know, the tax bracket, but if you want a strategy, either you buy 1 hour, or if you want us to write some reports, you can in advance buy a 15-minute free call. We can discuss, we can see how we can help you, and then we can propose you our solutions. And be aware that we do a lot of things. We can also have help you with the notary, we can have a call with the buyer, with the seller, we speak Italian, I'm Italian, so we can help you everywhere, okay? Until next time, Fausto Carnevale, enjoy your stay in Italy.